All right, sorry about that. I had to get that laundry done so I don't have to go back and do it later. Yeah, I had to hang it. The machine needed 4 minutes, and then I needed 4 or 5 minutes to hang it. You know, it all gets hung out outside. Anyway, sorry about that. It wasn't planned. My dumbass self probably explained this before, but I have one of those. I put a new heat pump or water pump valve controller and cold water storage tank in, I don't know, like a year ago. And the new ones have sensors on them. So if you overdraw for too long and drop the pressure below the minimum for a set amount of time, it'll automatically shut off because it'll think you have a leak in the house. Dumbass me, once again, started the laundry and the dishwasher at the same time. They both kicked on, shut the water lines off because it was drawing too much at once. So when I went down to check the laundry, it was, like 10 minutes left. So I had to re-frickin' set it. I mean, it's not a big deal. You just reset the valve and shut one or the other item off and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's all done. Laundry's all done. It's all hung. All I got to do now is wait 3 or 4 hours and then bring it back inside. Got lots of other stuff to do today. But one of them is, as you can all see, is I'm going to move all this stupid streaming to a dedicated streaming one. I thought about actually taking a new one and making it the dedicated, like, real video one, but I've done more videos on this one. It's blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to touch any of the streams that are here. I think I'm just going to leave them. But I'm going to start a new streaming channel that's just for this kind of crap, and it won't necessarily be 3D printing, although that'll be more of it. If I'm doing a designated 3D printer thing, like let's say somebody sent me a printer. Somebody sent me a printer, I would do a live build or something. I would do it on this channel. But the other one's going to be just this BS, and because half the time we get political, even though we try not to, or I go out and do the fire streams, or I have a couple of pieces of equipment out in the garage I've been wanting to rebuild or repair / replace, and I was thinking about doing those on here on the live one. So it's not 3D Llama Live, it's just ThomllamaLive, because it could be anything. Working in the garage, working in the yard, sitting here. I mean, 90% of it's going to be just the same thing I stream. Anyway, anyone want to jump in? Okay, who's all here and who did I miss? Let's go back to the beginning. We got Vince, we got Lester, we got Hobby Howie, more Vince, some me, some Mr. Buttram. Hey, Mr. Buttram. Some Andrew, some more Mr. Buttram, some Dan, and some more Mr. Buttram, and some more Lester, and some more Dan, and there's an Andrew, and some more Dan, and some more Mr. Buttram, and then some more Andrew, and then me. That'd be cool. Hey, and somebody jump in. On the other note, sad note, Jimmy had a quadruple bypass, I guess, yesterday, or is getting. God, can't really understand how she put it. I believe the way I got in touch with his wife, had a quadruple bypass yesterday, and he's actually not taking to it too well, though his spirits are up. She said, he's mentally he's doing good. Physically, the doctors are like, it's not great. So some part of his philosophy, some part of his medical stuff is fighting the operation recovery crap. So get better there, Jimmy. I need you back here. I need my co-host. Think we'll do something for him, like, I don't know, start a little web page or something where we can all, like, do a get better. I don't want to just send her going through all the crap I did with my father in the last year and a half. All the, well wishing is all very nice and everything, but it gets overwhelming and kind of annoying after when you're trying to get off of it, if that makes sense. So, I wish it won't. This is a much. So yeah, I'm thinking we should all do something, but we should do it where. Yeah, actually, you're right. It was just a year ago today. They're kind of similar people, although Jimmy's not quite so nutcasey. Mike was freaking a nutcase. I mean, not in a bad way. He was just a nutcase. Anyway, so I don't know. Somebody's got some good ideas or something. I don't want to overwhelm her with, a million emails. Oh, we're so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't mind doing like a website-y thing. I don't know. You got any other ideas there, Mr. Buttram? You're usually pretty good at dreaming up crap like that. Where everyone could like sign a digital postcard kind of thing or get well card or.
Let's do a 3D Jimmy statue.
Do a 3D Jimmy statue. I was actually thinking about doing like a lithophane or a small model or something, just, where everyone can print it out. But really the only image I got of him is on these live streams with, it's like you can barely see him. He's in the dark. Although that might be good for a lithophane. It'll be all dark with just his face out, but, with cigarette smoke flowing by his face. But yeah, I guess he's what she said was his spirits are up. He's in a good mood. They wouldn't, because of the whole COVID thing, and actually Florida's gotten, I don't know if people have been watching the news at all. I really haven't, but I did see this morning, Florida and Texas have like exponentially increased their hospitalizations of COVID patients in the last like 2 weeks, like badly. Like overwhelmingly, from what I understand, and they wouldn't even let her in to see him until they were sure he was stable and everything after the operation or something. He's still in the ICU, or I don't know. She kind of did a quick message, so it's kind of, you could tell she was like thinking way ahead of what she was typing, kind of deal. Yeah, you know what we could do? We could just do a lithophane of like the fan and the ceiling, like he originally did.
No, just his outside,
or the blurry window. He did that for almost a month. He was doing that when he come on my streams. Just a blurry view out the window. It wasn't even focused. Yeah, but those get well cards, it's like you just do one. You can't like everybody sign it, right? I've never done one, so I have no idea. What's up, Mike? So anyway, there's that. Hopefully he gets better. Like I said, she said his spirits were in good mood. So you're using Logitech software.
Yeah, it's because it's a Logitech cam. It's a pain in the backside because
but I just go direct to StreamYards. The Logitech software is useless on a Mac.
It's fine with PC though. I like it because I can sort out the saturation and zoom in live rather than having to play around with it and StreamYard. So it makes it easier. I can do like this.
I wish it would work better on the Mac.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's freaking scary. Don't do that.
Extreme close up.
You need to give Stream Watcher strokes and crap.
So you been busy today?
Oh God, I've been running around like a madman. I got so much to do, and I wasn't even going to stream, and I said, you know what? This is going to be my half hour. I probably want to stream for like a half hour. This is going to be my relaxation time. I got so much to do. Just one of those, it's like a beautiful day out, and I want to get all the exterior crap done I can, because it's going to be crappy for the next 3 days. I mean, I shouldn't say crap. It's just going to be hot and humid, which means I'm not going to want to be outside working in the yard. And today is like Frickin' yesterday was gorgeous, and today's supposed to be gorgeous. So a little warmer than yesterday, but not terrible. So I may actually cut this early and go out there after and do all my work in the morning here instead of in the afternoon like I normally do, where it's nice and cool. But there is one thing I want to get started. I am sick and tired of my sponge dish on my sink. It's always moldy smelling. I have a little ceramic one that my parents used forever. You know, you scrub your dishes and you put the sponge in the little dish. And what's up, Epic? For those on YouTube, it's on Twitch. And I will continue, by the way, I will be continuing to use this Twitch. I'm not going to change the Twitch crap, just the YouTube-y. Because Twitch is just like 1 or 2 viewers and a stream. Hi, Epic. Back to what I was saying. I got to do the soap dish. Soap sponge holder dish. I designed one a long time ago. It's just like a dish, but it has a drain in it with a little lip. But it keeps getting, I don't know, the layer lines and everything, they get all yucky with the sponge sitting in it. And when they say that mold and stuff can get in layer lines, they are not kidding. I have definitely seen that up close and personal. I mean, it's good for like a couple of months, but then you'll start getting that like black ring and you wash it and the black ring doesn't go away and you kind of look at it, you can tell it's like seeping inside the print. It's like, yeah, no, see ya. So I think I'm going to print one anyways, a new one. But instead of just having a sponge sit in the bottom, I'm going to print like a grid that the sponge will sit on, drain down, have the little drain slot still. And just when it starts getting yucky and black, I throw it out and print a new one. So that's my plan for today. So let's do that right now. Actually, I'm going to share my screen and start fusionating. How's that?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing since, 5 o'clock this morning.
Yep.
I went to bed, I think, 12:30, and I got up at 4:30. So I was like, oh, that's it. I'll just go continue with my projects that I've kind of been putting off quite a while. And then try and get some test prints done. And then the rest of the parts that I know need to be resin printed, go send it off to my mate to go get them resin printed. And then make some mold of it.
Anybody know why the you never know whether it's going to be on the outside or the inside? When I want it to be inside, it's always outside. And when I want it to be outside, it's always inside. Not that it really matters, but
I just remember plus or minus. If you pull it out, it's minus. If you pull it in, it's plus.
Yeah, but it's not always.
Yeah, no, it changes depending on the actual shape.
Yeah, I don't know.
I found that in a lot of things.
Sometimes it'll, when you first hit it, it always does 1 millimeter off. Sometimes it's on the outside of the item you are selecting. Sometimes it's on the inside. It just never makes sense. 0.6 nozzle. 1, 2, 3 layers at least. Let's go with 4. So 4 times 6 is 2.4. And there is that. And then I'll just do the round over later. And right around here somewheres.
See, what I'm doing just now is a lot more technical than a soap dish.
I don't care what the fuck you're doing. Right now, I need a damn soap dish.
I'm trying to replicate a prop gun, and I'd gotten some reference images ages ago, and someone else has done some really good images, and I asked him where he got them from, and it actually turns out he was one of the game designers. So he was like, oh yeah, you can have these, but I can't send you the models because they're licensed. I was like, oh, yeah, fair enough. So he goes, oh, so can you show me what you've worked on so far? And I showed him it. He goes, actually, I'm really impressed that you could do all of that in Fusion. And I was like, yeah, well, it's taken me a long time. But he goes, yeah, now I see where you've gone wrong, and started telling me all the little key points of all the different bits that I'd gotten wrong, and then told me that there's 4 different versions of that particular weapon. So I had to go back with the images that he sent me and then start modifying everything again. What is a pain in the backside when you've done things wrong and you've just kind of covered them up.
Yeah, that happens. Do I want it 3 deep? Yeah, why not? And let's make the walls, if I can select them, like 25. Sure. Enough? Sure it is. And this we pull out this way by like 6, so it sticks out a little. And then and this I will arc. That's not what I actually want, though. Command Z. What I want is... What the hell do I want?
Tell me what you want.
What the hell was I trying to do?
Create a soup dish.
Yeah. A sponge dish. Creating a sponge dish.
Sponge dish. Yeah, we just call them soup dishes.
Yeah, I miss hanging out with Mike. It was fun.
Mike was mental, though. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I loved the weed whacker on. Just crams it in the hot end and just gets it to work somehow.
Yeah, he just, I don't know, he just cracked me up all the time. He was just a fun and funny guy.
He's one of those characters that you get used to and you just watch for the laugh and the entertainment of what he's going to do next.
Yeah, he was definitely more entertaining than I am. There's no question about that. What do I want to do here?
Add holes?
Yeah, no, I want to make that like a drainy. I'm just trying to figure out the easiest way to do it.
Why don't you draft the bottom on it so it's got a little plate that holds it off of the actual worktop?
Yeah, no, it's just right here. I want this to drip down but not drip over. So I want to make this. I don't know why I'm fighting it. It's so stupidly easy. What I want to do, just draw it on there, you dumbass. Just draw it in there, you dumb ass. What did I do? 2.4. Done. And do it over here again. And I can probably just mirror it and all that crap. But you know what? This is almost easier. 2.4. This. And this. Go solid. Bring up like, I don't know, 10 or so. Not even that much. I don't know. Does that look like too much? Yes. Do 5. Sure. Okay, why is this thing so small? Make this small. Or make this bigger so I can see what the hell I'm doing. I really need a second monitor for chat. I could just use my iPad. That would be just way too smart, though. That would be an actual intelligent thing to do.
So,
and let's
phones of today.
Stupid thing.
I've got an old phone that still works, and this is a newer version, Samsung S7. Look what happened to it. Bottom of the screen's gone. Touch still works on it, but like paying hundreds of pounds for this, you know, it breaks. Happened to me yesterday. Not impressed. Voniper 4, he's making a sponge dish because his old one keeps getting moldy.
And shift. And this I do want around. Well, let me keep going up. Ooh. I also want around this. Well, let me do all this at once. Sure, well. Let's keep going with it. Until my little computer like freaks out and says, no! Sure, why not? I know I don't really want it exactly like that, but this will work for now. Let's do it like 4. Doesn't need to be that big. Put this and this just to make it look pretty. We like that? No, actually, cancel. I don't like that at all. I will round these over though. That'll work. Close enough. So anyways, we're both being silent, typing away on our computers. Dumbass.
Yeah. It's because I'm doing Fusion as well. It's just, you know, when you get something that you're doing and you really can't put it down. I've been like that for hours now, and it's like I keep nitpicking at little things because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and it really irritates me because I just go over things so many times to try and get it right. And
yeah, I've gotten over that because I found the more I try and fix it, the worse it gets.
Yeah, I found that with the last model I did. So this one I'm trying to do it right first time, and that's kind of the problem is I'm going over it, then making sure I'm doing it right, then checking a photo, then going back to it, seeing something's soft, tinkering with it, then going on to something else so that I'm not staying on one bit too long. But the more I do, the more I find, means the more I have to work on it. So, yeah.
I wonder if I can cut this corner around too. It's not just a sharp corner there. Nah, I don't like that. Cancel. Really don't want that sharp corner there. I probably should have rounded that first. Let's see. I go back to there. There. If I round this over beforehand. I hate this thing. It always pops up wherever you're trying to work. Let's go with 3.
That's about right.
That one. Okay. Let's see if it'll freak out now going forward. Who else is popping in here? We have a Dan at work. What's up, Dan?
Oh, not another day in paradise. I apologize if you guys get feedback. I can't really do headset at work, so.
Nah.
But yeah, I'm kind of scruffy looking. I realize when I look at myself from this view, I need to shave.
Oh no, coffee's gone.
Yeah. So, what are we working on here, Lama?
I don't know. I have no clue what the hell I'm doing. As usual.
Yeah, my assistant is currently down working on the other end of the building on some computers and may pop in periodically. And I got a bunch of guys wandering around the school here doing construction. So you guys hear loud bangs, pops, creaks, drills. You know, sounds like a wall's falling down. It's because they're putting in a whole new heating and AC unit in a building that's, you know, Probably about, let's see here.
Get out of my way, you stupid frickin' oversized window.
Yeah, the portion of the building I'm in was from the 60s. So you're talking, that's a 60-year-old building on this end. The other end of the building is 80 years old. So there's a lot of drilling to put new technology in old buildings.
5? Would freak out at 5? No, it doesn't. Let's leave it there. Let's see if I can handle these first.
Yeah, I see you there, Mr. Mac. I see your bear look comment. I need to shave and get a haircut because this is it's making seeing my bald spot there quite a bit easier when the hair gets longer. So I gotta get it short so it blends in a little better.
Ah, man.
Because this is
Not quite 10.
that's too much.
7.
So, Mr. Andrew, how you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad. I'm going over a model. I've been working on it for quite a while, but I really like things to have as much detail as possible. And now that I can have a use of a resin 3D printer, it makes it all the better because I can mold all the parts that I need to, replicate it, and then I can make as many as I want. So
Okay,
it's
not exactly what I wanted, but it'll do.
But yeah, other than that, my phone broke yesterday. Lack of sleep as per usual.
So just a little bit.
And got a lot of work to do in this place. Got to replace the kitchen sink. Got to rip down some walls, wardrobes. Lots of stuff to do.
Nice.
Always fun.
It's always fun when you have a list of projects to do.
Yeah, I'm just fixating on this one at the moment because I really want to get it finished.
Yeah,
I've been at it quite a while, but I got the original designer, one of the designers.
What's up, Hawk? I didn't
it
even know you were in here, dude.
and sent me pictures. So I'm working off his pictures now for reference instead of the ones I had before.
What's up, Hawk? I haven't seen Hawk in years.
Vince,
Yeah, no, I don't have a what the hell do we used to call that? Where freaking Wiley used to have the speaker go. It would speak to chat. What the hell is that? What did we call that? We used to have a name for it. Yeah, you freaking buzzard. No. He's always been doing his like video game freaking stuff on Twitch.
Yeah, I know.
Like, there must be the life. Hey, let's just broadcast video games for our life. Text to speech. Yeah, but we called it something.
Hey, you could do that because with your
not chat bot.
say like
Douche bot. There you go. That's what we called it. Douche bot.
but yeah, Vince, just let you. I work at a school. I'm the IT guy, so that's what I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm in my office. I have a pretty.
And the IT guy. In other words, everything at school is broken.
Yep, pretty much.
I don't know what the hell he's doing.
I just hang out here and break shit, so that I break shit. To make sure it's working, and then they just keep giving me a check.
Do I work? Not per se. I used to.
He does work in the sense that he keeps us all in stitches sometimes, or he likes to just break things and then fix them again for himself.
Yeah, no, I get them all fixed and working well, and then I got to fix them again. My father got really, really sick like 2 years ago, and it was either I stay home with my parents, which my mother was already sick. My mother got sick like 10 years ago. She's kind of hard moving. And my father used to take care of her. Well, he got really, really sick, so I moved back home to take care of them. And back in April, my father passed, so it's just my mother. So I've been thinking about going back and doing some part-time work. I actually got an offer yesterday, but I hated working with the guy. So, I mean, I shouldn't say I hated working with the guy. He's just so – it's just going to end up being a bad situation again. I know it is. So I kind of said no. But no, my brothers are helping support me so I can stay with my parents. Not that they really do a lot, but they're trying. One of my brothers takes care of the bills, and a couple other ones give me a little money now and again, just so I'm not completely strapped. More or less play money. So I'm not working, but I have no money, but I'm not desolate per se because my brothers help. So I can basically, I'm a caretaker for my mother now. So we don't have to put her in a home. She can stay in her home, which is pissing her off because that's a whole different story. Let's round these over too. I don't like it being all square. It's just annoying.
This is the first time I've had a cinnamon roll that just tastes like dough. Can't taste any cinnamon on this.
Because it is just dough with some cinnamon added.
No, you can see the cinnamon on this thing. You can see the swirl in there a little bit, but all it tastes like is dough. Like I get
Tanner too. What's up, Tanner?
Morning.
Morning, Tanner. How are you doing, sir?
Hanging in there.
Okay,
Back to work last night.
Well, I gotta do an extra. Save that.
So Tanner, with all the stuff that's been going on down around you, are you even are there any gigs going for you right now?
Yeah, they're 3 out of my 5 gigs are back.
That's good.
That's cool. I was gonna say because I know you were saying that one of the places that you played at, they were carrying shit out, just going nuts.
And that's the one that's back.
Nice.
When you got the kind of money they've got, you fix stuff fast.
So they were walking out the door. They were walking out the front door carrying shit out while he had a construction crew coming in the back, putting it back.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So the Saturday night that all the looting and rioting took place, by 10 a.m. the next morning, the only thing left to do was wait for the glass company to show up and put new glass in.
Nice.
They had replaced all the equipment that had been damaged and repaired all the damage inside and restocked everything, and it was all done by 10 a.m.
The sad fact is granted, the guy's obviously got money, but it's probably something he'll never see a reimbursement on. I mean,
yeah, probably not. So he might not be able to buy a new Ferrari this year.
Yeah, I mean, heartbroken. He can't get that new Ferrari.
And I say that literally because the owner buys a new Ferrari every year.
Whoa.
You know what? He'll still probably
it's all right.
make that Ferrari work because for all the money he'll stop paying out in construction repairs, he's probably going to get some kind of a tax break for the new Ferrari.
Yeah. But he used to be a race car driver, so I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's not just one of those, he's just buying it to show off. He used to drive high performance race cars, so
Makes a bit more sense then.
I went and got new tires yesterday for my CRV.
Nice.
The ones that were on it had lasted 72,000 miles, so it was time. But
yeah,
because of the COVID stuff, they moved most of their waiting room furniture outside at the tire shop. So the only chairs that there were to sit in were outside, and the only ones that were available outside were in the sun.
Jesus.
So how well it'll show up on camera, but there you go.
Oh, nice sunburn.
Yeah. I got a nice sunburn while sitting in the sun for 2 hours waiting for my tires to get put on.
You got skin socks too?
Hours though for tires.
You know what skin socks are? Right?
Yeah.
All carpenters have skin socks from wearing the socks out in the thing. So when you take your socks off, there's still a white line, and it looks like you got socks on, even though your socks are off because your feet are still white.
And then my arms got some sun too.
Ooh.
And I'm literally a redneck now.
Well,
the music fits.
You were always a redneck, so that's.
I'm always a redneck, but now I'm literally a redneck.
Yes.
But but it was time. Like I said, I got 72,000 miles out of the factory tires.
Not bad.
Yeah, they were the tire shop was like, "How in the world did you do that? That's a 50,000 mile tire." And I'm like, "It's all interstate driving. Yeah. You don't wear tires that fast when all you're doing is just driving in a straight line fast."
Yeah, it's not starting and stopping, which puts a little extra wear and tear.
Yeah,
you're lucky if you get 30 miles here with all the potholes.
Our interstates are full of potholes here.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one that I can put my fist in, literally just 2 seconds.
No, we've got potholes on the interstate that are big enough to put half my car in.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but the thing is I travel that route so often, I've memorized where they're all at by the mile markers. So I change lanes to avoid 90% of them.
That's whenever I take my daughter down for her doctor's appointments. It's like an hour and a half drive away. And I've got that stretch of interstate memorized. I'll be driving down the interstate, won't even think about it. I just signal on, scoot over, go past the bumps, turn signal on, scoot back over, and keep on going. And I took my wife with me one time, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing? There's nobody around." I was like, "Oh, bumps." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Look at the road as we pass. There's there's a section that's the entire lane wide. There's probably half a car length deep that was just tore out, just kind of if you go through it."
Yeah, the semis that travel up and down I-24 keep it pretty tore up. They have to resurface it about every 2 years. Which right now from mile marker 35 to mile marker 19, they've shut it down to one lane coming back towards my house because they're getting ready to groove that whole lane and resurface it.
Oh, they just chuck chuckies in it over here. Basically just stones. And then they just bat it down a bit and then leave it. And then literally 2 months later, all the stones are out of it and it's full of water and that's it. They don't care. And the thing is that there's a road close to us where they replaced it 3 times within 1 year because they had to keep their budget up, but they won't fix the roads that actually need to be fixed.
Yeah. The way it works on I-24 is they resurface about 20 miles of it at a time. And by the time they've resurfaced 3 lengths, it's time to go back and start resurfacing the first one again. They really need to widen I-24 to be 3 lanes wide each way rather than just 2. That would help tremendously because it would spread out some of the semi-traffic a little bit. They need to widen it to 3 lanes, and they need to not allow trucks in the far left lane.
Mr. Buttram, I almost agree with you. I think if the guys were willing to travel a little bit more, that by the time they start replacing the road at one end of a state, by the time they got to the other end of a state, they'd have to start back over with repairs and whatnot coming back. So I think it could just be a continuous thing. It just depends on how much concrete they could throw down instead of the lovely blacktop that they put over the top that just gets chewed to shit in no time.
Yeah, this is all asphalt. And
the
semis are not kind to it.
No, I mean, this stuff is meant to be put on roads where you've got kind of like a moderate traffic, not like a heavy traffic of 80,000 pound trucks rolling through all day, every day.
Right.
So it really can't handle that kind of abuse.
Because you got an 80,000 pound rig running at speed limit 70, and they're usually running over that.
Yeah. Most of the guys are doing that whole, if I can get an extra load in this week, that's an extra $1,000 in my pocket. Let's try and get this done. So they'll, 10 extra.
So, if they can get away with driving and they're usually not going way over that, 72, 73. But you figure when you're driving, 1,000 miles, that 2-3 miles an hour adds up. So that's a speed they can get away with if they don't get ticketed and their onboard GPS system doesn't flag them for unsafe driving and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But when you're driving 1,000 miles, 3 miles an hour adds up. And when you're getting paid by the mile, which that's how, most truckers get paid. Get more miles in.
We got somewhere because this thing isn't centered, but I don't care.
I get the fun, my assistant and I, while I'm also waiting for staff members to email me back on the things that they messed up and how we need to fix them. I've got about 100 laptops I got to do all the Windows updates on and uninstall all the unnecessary software my staff members have installed throughout the year because they thought they needed this and they thought they needed that. Or if you ask them, they say, I didn't install that. It's like, well, we didn't, because we have a small package of software we install by default just as a precautionary thing. We have certain tools we install, Team Viewer. Now we install Zoom because they're all using Zoom. So, but we've got just our small little package. We keep our little flash drive with all of our utilities on it, run that, let it do the install, and that's all we put on here. Then all we do is, we ask staff members, like, can you guys install the Windows updates when it comes up? If it says it needs a Windows update, can you do that? Or do you need us to come around to your classroom, once a week and make sure all your updates are done? Oh, I got it. One of the staff members, we turned on their laptop and it hadn't been updated since the beginning of the school year. It was so far behind on Windows patches that we had a year's worth of Windows updates to do. It was like, and I mean, there was 2 big Windows updates in the last year alone. And I'm like, there's a 2.5 gig file. There's another 2.5 gig file. I'm like, So I told my assistant, I'm like, this year, forget it. I was like, Monday, we're going to do from this classroom to this classroom. Monday mornings, we're going to go in, turn them on, do the updates. If they're not here, we'll get them at some point. There he is. Walter, what's going on, man?
What's up, Walter?
I know this face right here isn't one that you know all that well, Walter. I know you've only maybe seen me once or twice, but I've seen your stuff quite a bit, so it's actually kind of nice to see you're out and floating, man. I've been asking about you.
The last thing I heard from Walter is he's getting ready to read.
Here that I haven't been paying the chat at all.
That's kind of why I've been trying to look over and check the chat periodically there, Llama, because I know you don't have your normal wingman in here to help watch chat for you.
Yeah, I've been kind of modeling here, save. I know this thing's going to crash. Cancel. Wrong thing I'm saving here. Yeah.
That's funny, Mike. Walter who?
What's that?
The one who plays with alligators.
Mike.
The one who plays with alligators.
When he's like, Walter who?
Walter who? Yeah, it has been a while since he's done anything.
Yeah.
I wonder with all this free time,
yeah,
if he
man.
pick up his Stargate.
Yeah, we're gonna finish Stargate, Walter. No, I won't bust out. I have to apologize to Walter because you guys don't know, but we were having a discussion on Facebook, and I let it get a little bit to me because of everything that was going on with my father, and I apologize, Walter, sincerely. I responded a little aggressively more than I normally should, and he was trying to be normal, and I let it get to me. So I apologize. We were having a normal discussion, and I went off the handle, and I apologize. And we'll leave it at that.
Understood.
Yeah, well, I just let everything get to me. It just hit me at the wrong time, and blah, blah, blah. No excuse.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, Mike, I've been seeing more of your daughter there, Walter, than you. I started getting, serious into watching streams and stuff, and then all of a sudden you disappeared, and then now all of a sudden she's been popping up. Oh, hold on a second there, fellas.
Good answer.
Hello.
So, Tanner, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Are we going to do our little sub?
Yeah, we need to figure out a good day to do it and schedule it. That way we can promote it and people can come watch.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was kind of getting ready to, and then you're all crap. World changed, so I kind of laid off of it.
I got back to work.
All of a sudden, like overwhelmed, busy trying to get everything organized. So I was like, I'll leave him alone for a little while and let him get his life back, freaking somewhat normal.
Well, right now my Saturday and Sunday gigs haven't come back, but usually I'm busy with the family on the weekends when I'm not working anyway. So right now, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I shouldn't have anything because none of my regular shifts were on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I will be back, gentlemen. I am being called out of the office. So I will either be hanging out and chat, or I may try to pop back on stream. But
Dan looks like a totally different person, like from the side like that. He doesn't even look like the same guy. Did you notice that? He really does. I mean, he does and he doesn't. He looks like a totally different kind of person.
Well, he doesn't have his, like camo hat and stuff on. I think it's camo. Ball cap that he wears in most of his.
Oh, he always wears the Alien 3D, doesn't he?
With the really bent up brim and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
A hat can make a world of difference. I need to wear a hat right now because I still haven't had a haircut since before the shutdown.
I have. All 21 inches.
And this is what it looks like when I wake up.
Yeah, how is your daughter doing over there at Slice? She seems to be. I've seen her on a couple streams now with him. She seems to be doing pretty good over there, taking into that. That's pretty cool that she got in there. You're such a good daddy influencing your daughter. 3D printing. Because it is awesome.
at least it was a positive influence.
It is awesome. Anyway, so it's been almost an hour.
Yes.
And I'm really not in the mood. I really am in the mood to go outside, and I'm really not in the mood to go outside, if that makes sense, all at the same time. It's just so nice. So very nice. I want to finish this. I want to get rid of all that crap up there. That's all going up into the garage. I've decided today, that stuff. These are all, whether you realize it or not, you guys want to get a stupid fact? All of this stuff has been in this closet since 1979. Everything up there is 1976 reenactment Revolutionary War, like clothing and Afghans and stuff my parents did during 1976 when they had the big, 200-year anniversary Revolutionary War. They were all into that. I was cosplaying long before cosplay became a thing. I wore knickers and long knee socks and the big coat and the whole fife and drum thing long before cosplaying was cool.
Yeah, I've never dressed up in one of the outfits or anything, but I've always wanted to go to a Renaissance festival and actually like dress period accurate and stuff.
Yeah.
Do it.
Always thought that would be cool.
I used to be part of the London reenactment group and the Scottish reenactment group, and used to go and do the Viking RP, what was role play, but you actually use proper axes, and you have to be taught how to stop the swords and the axes because they're not sharp. But if you make a wrong move, you will hurt someone. So you have to learn that you've got to thrust and make it look like you're doing it as powerful as possible and stop just before you hit each other. So you get a little ting, but you don't get a big, massive crunch. And a few people didn't actually realize that, and someone broke their arm and had their shoulder dislocated with a shield being rammed off them. But the best thing I ever did was learn how to fire a longbow, and I got 3 meters out of it. I could only hold the tension on it for 3 seconds, but it flew 3 meters, and it is a big feat. When you see people with these big longbows, and people go, "Oh, I can do that." No, it took me a whole 3 months just to learn how to get a proper draw on one of them. I can use a standard bow really easily, but longbows, the amount of tension you've got to put on it, and you've got to learn just the right angle to fire it because it's so long.
Right.
People put them on their shoes and fire them off their shoes. you know, and you're just looking at like, how did you do that?
An old English longbow is still almost, if not more powerful than a modern compound bow is. Them things were ballsy. They penetrate armor. I mean, think about it.
Well, that's one of the ones we used to do is have a car door and a sheet of lead behind it. And basically, well, I only done it twice, but they would usually have the guy who was the archer. Because I was a bowman, so I would go out, throw the arrows down in the ground, and they'll run out, pick them up, and fire them into the air. But they had the car door, and they were putting out bets like, "Oh, just go through it." And literally, this guy just pulled back really soft and just fired. It went straight through the car door, straight through the sheet of lead, and was sticking halfway out into a piece of hay in the back, a hay bale in the back. And everyone was like, "Oh, wow, why didn't they still use these in war?" And you're like, "Yeah, well, it takes a long time to, you know, reload an arrow. You've got a gun, you can fire 1,000 bullets, but
it takes more skill."
That's it.
There's not a lot of skill at point the end of a gun in the general direction and
that's it.
And fire. There's skill and accuracy, but most people aren't worried about that as much as they are just pointing the general direction and pull the trigger.
I do miss it. I mean, like, I went to go and be an extra in Vikings, the TV series, but they had filled it up by the time I got over there. I'd passed my auditions and all that, but they had already sent all the people over to Ireland and Wales to go and do the filming for the pilot. So by the time I got in there, they had already gone, "Oh, no, it's all right. We don't need you now, but we'll keep you on backup."
Yeah, I kept trying to get in as an extra on the show Nashville because, you know, it was shot in Nashville. But every time, it seemed like every time they had a casting, it was on a day I had to play a show. And I'm like, I can't cancel a show to go make $64 for the day as an extra.
No, that's not worth it.
Well, I'm in the background of World War Z.
Oh, cool.
They recorded it in Glasgow, and me and my mates went down. We got off work for a couple of hours and went down. You actually see us in the background because they were changing all the signs out and putting in the American taxis down in Glasgow. And I used to live in Glasgow, so they were all doing all the filming there, and I'm in the background. And you see all the zombies, and then we just all run off. They just go, literally, if they come running at you, just run away as fast as you can. Oh, all right, fair enough. So
Bye, Walter.
The big shot looking down of all the people running away. You just see me with my long hair, just running away. Like, it was brilliant. It was fun because they actually got everyone. They literally just went round everyone. They just said, if the zombies come running at you, just run. You know, they had massive, you know, like a massive. I think it was like 12-bladed quadcopter. I mean, it was absolutely massive with a big proper 4K camera on it flying over you. And you're like, no, I don't want that falling on me anyway, so I'm running. So you just liked it. It was brilliant. It was fun.
Yeah, the casting agency here for Nashville, they also cast some other stuff, and they've reached out to me a couple times because, you know, in order to sign up for the casting, you had to go on their website and create an account and upload headshots and a profile of your, you know, height, weight, age, etc. And they've reached out to me a number of times, but every time they've reached out to me, they're shooting on a day that I gotta work, and they require you to be able to set that entire day aside because shooting may be scheduled for from this time to this time, but if something doesn't work out or they need to do reshoots, you need to be available for the entire day.
The TV series Spooks, the British TV series Spooks. I was an extra in that, so that was my claim to fame. And then I was meant to be doing a Muller Rice advert as well, but they picked someone who looked a lot more geeky than me. And it was I don't know if you would have got it in America because it might be different in America, but they had just started doing these, what they call Muller straw things, these yogurts in straws basically. And it was this geeky kid puts down the yogurt underneath this fat woman who was going to sit down on it to splat it in his face, and then it comes up with there's love and then there's Muller love. So they found him instead of me, so I got told to go home. I was like, all right, fair enough.
I did a
I used to be on one of those channels, the websites for extras and casting and stuff like that, but it never really took off. And paying £60 a month for it was kind of like, I did get a few times I got called out to go and do like roll calls and be extras and little adverts and stuff like that. But I was like, no, I'm more looking towards like TV series and movies and stuff like that. But
yeah,
never really.
I've always had a little bit of interest in acting just because of how it kind of crosses with what what I do for a living. Because being a performer on stage is being a performer on stage. It's there's a lot of parallels there. And of course, I got cast in a play that ended up getting everything kind of getting put on hold because of the whole COVID thing. So still waiting to see when or if that's going to come back around, which I was so excited for. Well, but also scared to death because it's the lead role in the play. And I didn't know I would. When I went for the audition, I didn't know that it was for the lead role. They just said it was a role I would be perfectly suited for, and I was like, "Cool." I went out and read for the role, and they offered me the role. And then when they sent me the script, that's when I realized, "Holy crap, that's for me to be the star of the freaking play." And there's a lot of lines for me because I'm the guy, and so I'm like, that was kind of scary, but I was still looking forward to the challenge of doing it. And when he sent me the email that had all the list of my co-stars and stuff, I started Googling my co-stars, and every freaking one of them had a IMDb page and had been in 10, 15 movies and TV series and stuff like that. And I'm like, so now I'm the guy that the person who shows up at the bar and walks up and asks if he can sit in with the band because he sings karaoke all the time. I was like, I'm that guy.
I like that one.
Yeah, I'm that guy now. So all these real actors are going, oh great, we got some musician who thinks he can act. Crap.
Not again.
Yeah. Damn it.
See, I used to work at Elstree Studios, so I was in the background of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where I was on set when they were shooting. It was the sand dune scene where the fly swatters come up and hit them in the face whenever they think of something.
Yeah.
But I used to do what they call clatiform. So basically, you'd have a picture of whatever they were doing. Obviously, you're not allowed to talk about it, but they would give you a script with what the character is. Then they would give you a picture or an artist rendition of it and how it should look. And then they'd give you a block of clay and they go block it out. Or it's basically just put it into a basic shape, into a basic form. And then once you've done that, you pass it on to someone else who goes in, puts all the fine details in and everything else. But I was there for maybe 2 months. Tons of fun. I met Chris Tarrant. I met George Lucas. And then we moved to Scotland. So I lost my job. And I wasn't impressed with that. I mean, my brother was a makeup artist. He did the design for the main Uruk-hai in Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. And that was when there was that massive heat wave. So he got told that his flight would be cancelled, so he'd have to get on the next one. But back then it was really expensive to fly over to New Zealand, so he didn't have the money to fly over. And they go, oh, well, we'll reimburse you when you get here. So he gave all of his stuff to his apprentice, and his apprentice went over, and he still got the script to this day with makeup artist underneath it in his name.
Cool.
But he never got up there, so
yeah.
He's not in the final credits, but he is on the original script that he's got. So that's what really got me into it. I loved props and I loved making model planes. I used to always make balsa planes, RC planes. And after all of that, then I got into 3D printing because it was like, oh, it would be much easier. And instead of getting into 3D printing to use it for props, I started getting into 3D printing to make printers, as it always goes. So I had to fix so many of them.
And I screwed up starting this because I used the wrong slicer profile like a dumbass.
Did you get your resin parts working properly, Tanner?
No. And I attempted to buy an Elegoo Saturn on that release debacle they had.
Yeah. They just re-released. They're going to do 2,000 more.
Yeah, they're going to do 2,000 more. So probably 2,000 more that'll disappear just as fast as the first 1,000 did.
Yep. Didn't they go within the first 10 minutes of it going on?
They were completely sold out within 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
And almost everybody that, like the majority of people who attempted to buy one, were met with the same thing I was. I was at the site. It was a 9 a.m. my time sharp, and I was there actually a few minutes before and hitting refresh. And as soon as the add to cart button became an active button, I clicked add to cart, I clicked checkout, I clicked the PayPal the payment button, and I clicked submit. It told me to wait to hold my position in line, and then kicked me back to the site and said sold out.
Oh man, that sucks.
And that seemed to be most people's experience with it. Most people who tried.
10,000 run though, I thought.
What's that?
I thought they were doing a 10,000 run to start off with.
No, the first run that they put out, there were 200 available at the early bird price.
Yeah.
And then 800 available at the pre-order price.
Ooh, okay.
So it kicked me back. I tried the early bird. It kicked me back. I changed the drop down to pre-order and did the same thing. Hit add to cart, hit submit, hit pay, kicked me back to site, said it sold out.
That sucks.
Yeah, it ought to be better. I actually set the temperature to HDPLAs.
So if I had it to do over again, when I tried, I wouldn't have even tried the early bird. I would have went straight to the pre-order price and tried that right from the word go, because that would have maybe given me a chance while everybody else was still trying to get the pre-order unit or the early bird units. I'd have been one of the first ones jumping on the pre-order units.
But see, you do enough printing now. Why don't you kind of reach out a little bit to a few of the companies? Because that's generally
none of my channels or followers are big enough for any of that.
That doesn't really matter. I know one of the channels that I was watching a while back, and he knows absolutely nothing about printers, and he gets given printers. And it makes me sick, to be quite honest, because he tells people a whole lot of wrong stuff. He even gets out a spirit level and puts it on the printer to try and level the bed.
That's just so funny.
And he's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is broken. That is broken. It's like, you haven't even got the cable plugged in properly.
Yeah, I have 239 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So, I mean, even if a company said, well, maybe we can send it, they'd look at my subscriber count and go, he can only influence a maximum of 239 people.
But how many streams and stuff do you do then?
I haven't lately because, I don't know. I've been more interested lately in putting together short little tutorial videos.
And have you got Raspberry Pi?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you got Raspberry Pi? PiCam?
Yeah, I've got a I've got a RetroPie.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm saying, like, literally some of these channels, when they haven't really got a lot to talk about, they just put a PiCam on and record the print and just do it in a time lapse.
Yeah.
So, if you're trying to like block up like your how many hours and trying to make a push so then you can get more people onto your channel, it's a good way to go.
A lot of the stuff, I don't print.
We're cockies in here. I had to do it while he was in here.
I don't print like often, because when I print, I'm printing a prototype for something I've designed. So when I currently don't have anything ready to go print wise, my printers just sit silent like they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but with certain things you can do, like if you do something silly, like I know a load of people at the moment are doing it because it's going crazy just now, it's lithophanes. Something as silly as that, Game of Thrones lithophanes, or Game of Thrones, the dragon that has the little light in it. Yeah. Things like that, people watch hours and hours of because they're not really into 3D printing, but they're into a subject that leads them to that.
Well, the video that really made Joel Telling was the Hairy Lion video.
That was it, yeah.
And he printed the giant hairy lion
before that, but that definitely boosted him.
Well, that was one that took him from what he was when he put that out. He had like 30 or 40,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
and he put out the Hairy Lion that ended up with over 2 million views or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And
that was perfect.
I knew it. He had hundreds of thousands of subscribers.
But I mean, I've seen your stuff, like the work that you do, and yeah, it's your prototyping and your stuff as well. But if you can design something for people to watch, basically, then you don't have to worry about it. You put a camera on it, you record it as it's printing, and you can go do anything else that you want to go do. I mean, yeah, obviously you come back and check it now and again.
Right.
But, you know, I would suggest doing that so that you can get the follow count up, because people get more interested in what's going on rather than, you know.
Well, I did think an interesting approach that I may take here in the near future is to set up a time lapse camera, and when I do have a vehicle that's ready to be printed, time lapse each of the parts being printed, and then put the parts all on a table and assemble them.
Because I mean, like you tank
edit a video that way.
It looks amazing, you know. And if you did a time lapse video of all of the different pieces come together, you show those to like model builders. They love seeing that. I mean, I'm one of the people who actually does it with things like Gundam Wing. It doesn't even matter if they're not speaking your own language. You just watch it because it's interesting to see. Right.
So, you know, then, you know, get in and I need to, you know, figure out how to use I downloaded GIMP, but I haven't figured out how to use it. It's a little harder to use than Photoshop.
Yeah, no,
I've got GIMP as well.
Dude, I'm telling you, get Affinity Photo. Screw
okay. GIMP. I may have to do that.
For $35, it's so much easier.
Does it work similarly to Photoshop?
It's very similar. It's not exact. There's a few, but like Photoshop plugins work with most of them, not all of them. It's actually about 75% of Photoshop plugins. It's very
like
it's a little lighter in the actual abilities, but most of the abilities it doesn't have that Photoshop does have is like super high-end professional like photo editing crap that none of us ever use.
Right. Well, because ever since, you know, Adobe went the whole Creative Cloud route where you have to pay a subscription service to use their software, I'm not interested in their software anymore.
Nope. That's when I looked. The year they went to frickin' Mortgageware is when I bought Affinity, and I haven't regretted it since. And that was, 10 years ago?
See, that's a free model. I did a time lapse of that ages ago. The video isn't up anymore because it was on a different channel. But I had, you know, I think in the first week of that being up, I had 500 views on it. And the thing was, it was just the parts printing. It wasn't me saying anything. It wasn't me doing anything with it. I still haven't finished it.
Just put some
3 years old
royalty-free music on it,
and just away you go. And then just do the time lapse. And I do it with any camera that I've got. I've got a HX80 here to do stream stuff on, but my Elgato blew up, so I can't transfer all the stuff over unless it's SD. But I mean, you know, if you're getting just random prints.
So I thought it might be interesting to do a time lapse like of all the parts.
Yeah.
And then once all the parts are printed and the supports cleaned off the parts and stuff and they're ready for assembly, lay them all out on a table and then video putting it all together.
I mean, that model's been handled by, I think, 50 different people because I took it to one of the 3D print events a few times, and, you know, he's had small bits broken off of him and stuff. But, you know, it's just to show people what you can do rather than, you know, what people expect they can do. I mean, that thing actually came out really, really nice. That was when I had the printer dialed in, and after that, it broke.
Like my looking at my channel right now, my most viewed video is I put up a quick 2-minute tutorial on people who upgraded from Blender 2.79 to 2.8, and their objects were hidden and grayed out, and they couldn't find them because I ran into that problem. And so I spent like a half an hour on Google trying to find if my model was toast, if I had to start over, if all of the stuff that I had made in 2.79 would not work with 2.8 or what the deal was. It took me about a half an hour to find it. And I'm like, okay, once I found it and to my relief, all my stuff was still there. I just had to go and click a couple things on 2.8 to make it so that I could unhide the grayed out object. So I was like, I need to make a video on this. I really do. So I just sat down and in one shot did a quick like 2-minute, don't worry, your objects are still there. Here's how you find them. You click this, and now you'll be able to unhide it. You're good to go. And that video's had 864 views. That's my next closest video is.
But see, another thing that you don't do is you're on Llama's channel. Why don't you co-stream?
Yeah, that's discrediting you.
You know, that's the thing. You get into loads of other people's streams and you chat and you have a laugh. People like to see that.
I've gotten a lot of subscribers by being on other people's channels, and they're like, "Oh, who's that?" Blah blah blah, and they start, and I think when I did, because I did the very first, what's his face there on Mondays. He did community showcase before he did what he's doing now.
Yeah,
Hot Makes.
Huh?
Is it Hot Makes?
Yeah, the Hot Makes, but he's got a name for a show now. I can't remember. Is it Hot Makes? Isn't that, I don't know.
Yeah.
He did community showcase first. The very first one, me and Neary's did, and I probably got 50 or 100 subscribers that night.
My next biggest video looks like when I installed the Bondtech on the CR10S4, and that wasn't even to completion. That was just the physical putting it on the machine. That had 350 views, and then after that, I got the Keen Tools Face Builder add-on for Blender. It got 339 views, and that was a 9-minute and 40-second video of how to take a photo of somebody's face and make a 3D model out of it.
Well, 10 years ago, I have 3 videos, and each one has got 30,000 views on each. And that was all to do with Iron Man. I was doing a Peppercorn helmet, and it was just before the first movie was being released, and I built an Iron Man helmet out of the paper templates. And everyone went absolutely nuts. But that's when things started to go downhill because I started getting death threats, and that's when I kind of stepped back from YouTube. Because someone smart had found one of the videos, there was a box on the floor that had my details on it, and I actually got letters through the door because I wasn't selling my helmets and I wasn't giving out the templates for free. So after that, like, I changed my name for the YouTube channel, and then I started a new YouTube channel for the 3D printing side of stuff, and I still haven't uploaded any new videos. Just stopped for a while. To be quite honest, it was just kind of more me just being in a stupor and just being like, well, I don't want to make videos anymore. I don't really want the same thing to happen again. And then start to create a room, what is full of junk at the moment, as per usual, so that then I could start making videos again. I mean, I've got loads of printers, I do loads of repairs, I build printers, I do 3D modeling and stuff, but it's trying to figure out myself what I want to do and what people would watch at the same time. What technically I've already told you, because I already know what people watch, because I do the same thing as what most people do. They'll look up how to upgrade things, 3D modeling, and just watching time-lapse videos of models being printed. And the more fascinating it is, like, you've seen the foldable NASA shuttle. Someone posted a video of that. It's got thousands of views on it. And I don't even know why I watched it. It was just on there, and I clicked on it, and it was literally this CR10 Ender 3 printing this little thing, and he just pulls it off the magnetic bed, puts in a couple of clips, puts it together, puts it on the magnetic bed, and then just walks off. That's it. That's all the video is, and it's got, I think, 1,000 to 5,000 views on it now.
Yeah, like my wife only has 162 subscribers on her channel, but she did a product review on a nail polish remover that's got 49,000 views.
Yeah, it depends on the
and
subject.
She's met with a lot of negative comment on it because the nail polish remover is something that's, there's some health concerns with it because it's essentially a paint stripper.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exactly what it is. Most of them are plain acetone.
Well, no, this is more hardcore than acetone.
It's like nitrile.
Because acetone will barely dent like the gel nail polish.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially, it's like a resin. And acetone does very little to anything to it, and it takes hours to soak it off using acetone. This stuff in like 5 minutes, it makes it all bubble up and peels right off. And I'm like, yeah, of course It's like industrial grade paint stripper that you're putting on your fingernails. That's what it is. And yes, it's not good to have that in contact with your skin for long periods of time, but putting it on the just your nail and keeping it off your skin, and in 5 minutes you're wiping it off, it's not really going to hurt anything. And it's not like you're doing it every day or multiple times a day or anything like. You're doing it, once a month or whatever. It's like in that exposure amount, it's fine.
The only problem is when you become sensitive to the liquid.
Right. But she's got tons of people who keep making comments about, not don't use this and it'll kill you and blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's not going to kill you. You could possibly have an allergic reaction to it or something like that. But, keep it off your skin. Just put it on your fingernail and in 5 minutes, take it off and don't do it again until you need to remove the next set of your
it's pretty much like anything. I used to use
brush on nails, whatever they are.
I used it for 10 years. Now I have to wear gloves because back then I never used gloves. I would only get little bits on my hands, but now I'm sensitive to it. I get a little red rash that pops up. It's a little bit itchy, but it doesn't really irritate me. But people turn around and go, yeah, but that stuff can kill you. And it's like, well, yeah, it can if you don't take the right precautions. I always had a respirator on. That was more my worry, was the glass fiber is more toxic than the resin is.
Well, yeah, I see videos all the time of people using aerosol spray cans, paint cans, without any sort of protection on their face, and they're just spraying stuff away. And I'm like, you're breathing that. Mm-hmm. That is 100% proven to cause permanent lung damage.
Yeah, blow your nose afterwards. You see all the gunk that comes out. It's ridiculous. It's why I've got this. I've got my professional respirator, and I've got one with the little hose that goes into it as well. So whenever I'm doing spraying, that's all I use, and I don't care if it makes you look like an idiot.
On the back of all the spray cans, it tells you to use, a mask, and it tells you to use in a well-ventilated area and outside if possible. I'm like, so there's plenty of things out there that will kill you if you don't take the proper precautions when using it.
I think that's the thing. I mean, everything can kill you. Walking out the door and crossing the road can kill you. It's more the fact that people just have an opinion about it and they want that vented.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that's what the internet and social media has created for us. It's created for us an opportunity for everybody to think their opinion matters. Yeah. That their opinion is the whole world should see it.
Oh man.
The whole world should see it and the whole world should listen to it. No.
It's all Llama's fault.
All my fault, damn it.
We don't listen to Llama's opinions.
Yeah, that's it. That's why.
That's just the world we live in now with social media.
Unfortunately,
we see it with everything. Anytime some sort of little hot button subject comes up, everybody's got to jump to their Facebook and their Twitter, and they've got to chime in on how they think it should be solved. And they're not experts on anything in regards to what they're talking about. It's like, let's let the experts talk about this, and let's let the rest of us listen to the people who actually are educated in this.
Yep, that's what I always say.
And not give our opinions. Let's let the experts tell us the facts, and let's listen to the facts.
I don't know why, but I just don't care.
And that goes for anything that comes up. Everyone's always got to run to social media and spout their opinions out there. And sure, I have my opinions on that stuff too. Most of the time I'm going to keep it to myself because I'm not an expert either. And I know that. And I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm going to listen to the experts.
You're not an expert?
Let's see. What could I consider myself to be an expert in? Probably the thing I do better than anything else in the world that I do is read a crowd. That better than singing or songwriting or any of that is just looking out over a crowd, being able to rationalize in my head what kind of crowd I'm looking at and steer the show that direction. If I'm standing on stage, I'm surveying the crowd at all times. And in that crowd, I'm looking at demographics, male, female, age, approximate age, etc.
That's just years of doing,
Right. And I'm also looking at the percentage of the people in the crowd who have their eyes turned towards the stage versus the percentage of people who are looking at each other and just conversing amongst themselves and not paying any attention to us. And I will look for ways to get more eyes to look at the stage. If I notice that the percentage of the people watching the actual show is too low, I'll do what I call a lowest common denominator song for that demographic. So if the crowd's like 30 to 50 years old and they're not paying attention, that's when I'll break out Friends in Low Places. It's a lowest common denominator song for that demographic. It's one that they will pay attention to.
Yep.
And if that song doesn't work, then my next trick is to pull out some big vocal pyrotechnic type song where you're doing something really grand vocally, because that's your next approach if you can't get attention. No, you can't do this right now during the whole COVID thing. But my next step is, if they don't pay attention to that, I'll pick a song that I have an ample opportunity to take my wireless mic and jump off the stage and go out into the crowd. I'll go out into the crowd and I'll get up in their faces and I'll sing right to them at their table. And then when I return to the stage, I'll look around the room and notice that, okay, I reeled them back in. We played a lame song at some point and lost them. Got to pull them back in, because if they're not pulled into the show, they're not going to tip. And when that's how you make your living, you got to keep them invested.
So anyways, I'm going to kill it because I got things to do. It's already 11 o'clock.
I wish I could go outside and do things. It's raining.
Yeah, we're going to get some of that, I think, tonight.
It's 10 to 4 here.
Some of your rain is coming our way. You're an hour behind me, right? You're at 10 o'clock right now.
Yeah, it's 9:54 in the morning.
Okay. We got to get together when you get more stable and figure out our little modeling thing.
Well, right now it's pretty stable that I'm going to have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off.
Well, let's figure out a Tuesday or Wednesday then and go from there. But we got to figure out exactly. I think we should each do a sketch of what we're going to do, and we'll have to figure it out. It's one of those we're going to have to sit down and just hash it out. So
for those that are still following along, Llama challenged me to design.
It wasn't a challenge. I just thought it would be cool if we did it side by side.
Okay, well, it's a pseudo challenge. It is.
Yeah, it's
not really a challenge. It's just showing two different approaches to reach the same approximate result.
Yeah.
So he's jumping into the vehicle design arena with me.
I say a motorbike.
He's going to design a vehicle in Fusion 360, and I'm going to design one in Blender. And we're both going to design the same type of vehicle with the same
general basic everything. Obviously, they're not going to be exactly the same because we both have different ideas.
Because they'll come out of two different.
No, I know. I don't want them to be exactly the same. The idea, the point is how we go about it in each program.
And I believe what we've settled on is a one-man attack sub.
Yeah, like a little spaceshipy, subby, could be either or kind of thing. The more
one-man attack submarine. The criteria was it has to hold one action figure.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about that at this point. I mean, I like it too. But.
And so we're going to sit down and one day, and we're going to start from scratch He's going to start from scratch in Fusion. I'm going to start from scratch in Blender, and we're going to live stream the process and build these things on camera, so people can see the creative workflows and processes for the two different programs and the two different approaches that can get you to the same end result. Yeah. So whether you choose to walk down the Fusion path or you choose to walk down the Blender path, you can do this kind of stuff. You can design your own toy
stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think
in this case we're doing a toy, but
we're going to get that done. And then I think we should do it again in like a month or two, where I use Blender and you use Fusion.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the unfair advantage there is the only thing I've done in Fusion ever was I followed that tutorial where you make the little electrical conduit box.
That's
on YouTube. That's the only time I've ever touched Fusion.
I have never gotten anything constructed in Blender ever. Every time I fire it up, I get confused.
Yeah. So we would end up putting a lot of time for that because I have no clue how to use Fusion.
That's the point is we'll sit and coach each other. You'll be like, dude, don't do that, do this. And I'll be like, dude, don't do that, do this.
so it'll constantly be us back and forth, me going, so how the heck do I make it? How the heck do I make a box? I don't know.
You'll have fun trying to figure out how to get the angles over things, because Blender you can do it where you can just pull and push. And put
I just grab
nice order,
drag them wherever I want them.
Yeah, try that on Fusion.
Actually, you can drag and drop faces in Fusion, but
you can do it, but it's extremely difficult and doesn't work properly.
Well, if you go into the sculpting, whatever they call it now, they call it form.
Yeah, it's in the form.
That's actually very close to Blender-ish. That's the closest part of it. If you go into the freeform, he'd probably be comfortable in freeform. Very similar.
Well, I might have to look at that then, because, like I said, sitting and typing in dimensions doesn't work for me because I don't know what the dimension is. The dimension is going to be
in there and look at it. It's like, that's too much. That's too little.
Like I couldn't tell you what the diameter of that wheel is. I have no idea. I'd have to go grab my calipers to tell you.
Well, that's what you do. That's why those are right here.
Mine are somewhere back there. Somewhere.
You need a little stand with all your tools like I have. Yeah.
Yes, I always keep them close by because it's like I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, hold on, how big is this again? Because the one thing about modeling, and it always gets me, is you're designing something and you got it all up close and you're looking at it and you're adding fillets and everything else. And then you're like, hold on, wait a minute. And you're like, oh, that's only 17 mil long.
Yeah. This is what we should do, Tanner. Instead of us switching, we'll get it done, and then in like a month or two after we're all set, we'll try it again with a different model, but in ZBrush, which neither one of us are very good at.
Well, but the problem there is ZBrush costs money.
Yeah, but not really. You can get ZBrush Core for like nothing. I had ZBrush Core. And it's yeah.
What about Maya or Maya, whatever you call it?
Maya is big bucks. Maya
free.
Is,
student license is free.
When did Maya go free? Maya was never free.
Yeah, no, I got it.
My company paid like $8,000 for my copy of Maya back in, this was back in the 90s, 2000.
I've got Maya 2018
for the company license.
Let's see.
I've used Maya in 20 years.
Autodesk's website says Maya is $1,620 a year.
Yeah, a year. You know what else you should try? You should try Mudbox.
How much is Mudbox these days?
Well, they have a free sample for 90 days. It's like $250 a year.
They have a light version of Maya that's $265 a year.
Yeah, that's beginning to piss me off with Autodesk. The only reason I still like Autodesk is because Fusion. They're getting into that freaking mortgageware crap. I hate that.
Oh, that's all their stuff now. Yeah,
I hate mortgageware.
Now the benefit to it is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that with those purchases, the monthly fees and stuff, you actually get their cloud computing stuff with it for rendering. So, if you are in an actual production situation, it's totally worth it because the cloud computing for rendering is going to speed up your render times immensely. Mudbox is $85 a year. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's their version of ZBrush, which is actually older, and Mudbox came out way before ZBrush did.
I had Mudbox, I think, back in
like
98 or 99.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it came out right around 2000. Autodesk didn't own it; they bought it in I don't know. They bought it when they bought Sculptris. Same time frame, not with Sculptris, but
there you go.
So Sculptris was developed by a single guy, and they literally haven't done squat to it.
There you go.
I think they've even technically discontinued it.
They have. It's completely discontinued.
Yeah. Yeah, free for a year, just as long as you put it down as a student.
It's just like Adobe is discontinuing Fuse.
Yeah. Well, Sculptris is now integrated into ZBrush and ZBrush Core. If you get ZBrush Core, you get Sculptris. It's inside of it. Because the key to Sculptris is when you draw, it didn't just edit the existing surface. It would increase or decrease the pixels. The what?
Stress count.
Yeah, stress count.
The triangle.
ZBrush Core, ZBrush Core, you have two options to purchase. You can pay them $10 a month, or you can do a $180 one time.
Yeah, but they have if you dig down in there, they have like a 30 or a 90-day sample.
Well, I put it in the private for the Maya.
That's for Maya. But you have to put in education, and they want school and education information. And I'm not in school.
I put in just my old university. That was it. And I've never had to update it since. So it was the 2018
I've been in college in 30 years.
Look at local colleges, just put in the address there. There you go, sorted. I think it only asks for the actual the standard stuff like Fusion 360 when you get the trial for that. It's just basic.
Well, Fusion 360, you could click hobbyist, and then they didn't ask you nothing else. They just said,
"Do you make as long as you make less than $100,000 a year, it's free." If you're using it to make $100K a year plus, then you should be paying them.
Oh yeah, I'm not using it for anything like that. I
don't care if you are using it to make money or not. If you make $100,000 a year or more, they want you to pay for it.
Yeah,
I wish I made that amount of money.
What is it, like $350 a year now for Fusion?
I don't know.
I'd almost pay it if I was like working regularly again. I'd pay $350 a year for Fusion. Worth it.
I don't make any money off of Fusion, to be quite honest.
I don't make any money off.
If I did, I'd be really good because I would really enjoy that.
I made $3 off of Fusion like a week ago. For the second time in, I don't know, 10 or 15 years I've been on Thingiverse, someone gave me a $3 tip on Thingiverse.
Oh, wow.
For a sink drain freaking screen I made.
That's cool.
Like I designed it like years ago.
So yeah, maybe we should make a regular thing out of these challenges. We'll do the first one where we're starting in our comfort zones.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how it goes, because my next thought was, how are we going to show both of ours? I can only show one screen at a time.
Well, maybe we need to figure out how to simulcast then.
I've got another one that you can do.
The other thing we could do is like have Andrew sign in as I could have him sign in as me on my channel, or sign in as you as your channel, and he can click back and forth between us.
I could do that, yeah. I'll be the ref.
Yeah. Well, no, you just go back and forth as we're discussing it, because I want to be able to discuss it with him as I'm doing it and see what he's doing, and do the model equally as we go along, so we're following the same order of.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, why couldn't we? I stream my side of things from my channel. You stream your side of things from your channel. We both use StreamYard. You sign into my StreamYard from your side, and I sign into your StreamYard from my side, so that we're still, if somebody's just watching one channel, they're still hearing
both sides
and seeing both of us. But if they're watching your channel, they're watching your screen. If they're watching my channel, they're watching my screen.
Yeah, but then it would be hard to. They'd have to bounce back and forth. I'd rather just be on one and be done. You know what I mean? Then if they want to see what you're saying, they can't. They'd have to go to your channel and load that, or go to my channel if they're on yours, and you know what I mean? There's a way. I just got to figure it out. The only problem is we could use OSB, OBS, or OSB, or whatever the frick it's called. The problem is I can't use it because I can't model and stream and use OBS. My computer will just crash. It's just too much for my little dinky computer.
Mine should be all right. What I could do is host you both, bring you into OBS, and then put it onto the two separate channels. Because that would work. Because if I'm getting the feed in the camera feed,
nothing against you, but I want it to be on our two channels. Like I'll do it one week and he'll do it the next week. Because obviously we're not going to do it in one day.
Right.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I'll just switch on the PC and just leave you guys to do it.
Yeah, if you signed in on it, I mean, I got no problems trusting you with my crap. If you piss me off, I'll just change the freaking password. It's not a big deal. Just have you sign in. And the other thing is when we're done with the models, they got to be free. We're not going to try and. I know you're like.
But here's the challenge: when both of you have done your models, each one of you gives it to the other person, and then you have to modify it in Mesh Mixer with whatever you want.
Nope.
I don't use Mesh Mixer.
Well, that's the thing. Something completely different.
More freaking confusing than Blender.
I love Mesh Mixer. I'm so good with Mesh Mixer now.
I freaking hate Mesh Mixer.
Although it might be interesting to once we're done, we then have to print the other person's model and assemble.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So when we're done, I print and assemble his. He prints and assembles mine.
That's perfect. That sounds really good.
And then we can give creative feedback and stuff like that on the models.
Well, the other thing is too is we'll do the base modeling and everything, but after that, you already have like snap-on weaponry and stuff, right? You have like it literally snaps into place.
Yeah,
I think we should just use your standard of snap-on weaponry, if that makes sense. And I'll just make it work on my end at the end of the whole thing, if that makes sense.
Okay, so like the hex weapon system that I use on the Rep Ranger.
Yeah, well,
hex sheet
when the base model. Right now, we're just going to do the base model, but after that, we'll use a snap-on, and then we can make our own weapons that will snap in. And any weapons I design can also work on any of your Rep Rangery, but we'll use that as our base, at least for now, for
right, because I have their
pods, because I don't want to sit there and reconstruct everything that you obviously have working perfectly. There's no
I have standards for single hex and for double hex length deals. So like that double hex set right there is the same as that double hex set here.
Right.
So the weapons that plug here will also plug here.
An opening, it snaps into place, and it's easier. You don't have to glue it or nothing, right?
Right. And then the rest are single hex units that you can put things in, or you can design something that goes across those multiple.
Yeah, but we'll just stay with your mounting system for now, at least. We may come up with something better later, but for now, I don't see an issue with. I mean, it obviously works. You're using it, so
right.
Just in a place that won't fall out if a kid's playing with it or anything.
No, in fact, once you get it in there, you kind of gotta get something under it to pry it out sometimes. There we go.
So yeah, if you don't mind sharing it, we'll all accessories, we'll say, on that system of connection, I guess is the way to put it.
Sounds like
I think the challenge should just, the modeling should just be a very basic structure, and then we can modify the crap out of them afterwards. But just I want to see what each of us does for a basic, setup for said item.
Right, and I've got some stuff in my head already that just needs to come out,
which we got to get together and kind of because I'd like both of our designs to be basically the same concept design. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, like I have two different ideas to, whether it's something that, a sub where the cockpit is mounted back more like a jet looking thing just underwater, or do we do the round bubble thing at the front?
Yeah. See, I was thinking what they call a tadpole design, where it's the big bubble in the front with the glass in the front, and then it swoops back and gets narrower in the back.
See, literally, like you guys have been speaking about this, I've already designed it all in my head.
No, we both have been doing that too. Believe me,
it's crazy when people speak about projects like that, and you just co-align, you just pull the lines up, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what we could do, yeah.
Well, that's what, because first thing I did is I looked up a bunch of reference images and just kind of started getting an idea.
See, I hate doing it. I like doing it right out of my own head.
Just getting an idea of general shape and purpose. And from that, I came up with two different basic ideas, whether they were looking basically like I said, like a jet that that's underwater, or if they were very clearly it's a submarine because it's got that round glass bubble kind of thing going on in the front.
The other thing is the glass bubble, the tadpole design is also used a lot in spaceships. With the glass bubble,
right.
The guy standing there and he's looking out the glass ball. So it could be either or a submarine or a spaceship.
And I've already got some little toy gimmicky ideas related to both. So
we'll have to hash out the final crap in the next couple of days. You said you got Tuesdays and Wednesdays are pretty open, so let's plan on tomorrow getting together
and I think
hashing it out.
As we figure out the logistics to how we're going to stream this, we should probably do a test.
Yes.
We can make it a private video, doesn't have to be viewable by anybody else. Just we need to test that, okay, people can see your screen and they can see my screen.
Yeah.
And
most definitely.
And maybe test seeing if we can simulcast stream between the two channels.
Yeah, we'll have to hash out all the details. But yeah, we got to get I think the best way to do it is to get a third person like Andrew to host it on our channel, if that makes sense. And that way they bounce back and forth or share screens. Or can two people share the screen at the same time? No, share your screen, Tanner.
Okay, hold on.
Share my screen, it takes. So if I click on yours, see yours takes over and it puts us to the side. Then if I share a screen, it takes over everything. Yeah. Add to stream. See, it just lets me bounce back and forth. But if there's someone else doing it, they can do that. They can go, oh, look at what Tanner's doing. Oh, look at what Tom's doing. And bounce back and forth. So if we got someone like to play referee.
I wonder if we can use OBS.
Yeah, see, I can't use OBS. OBS just totally destroys my computer. It just I can't model and use OBS.
Which the vehicle you saw on Blender there is the one.
All my computer processing and graphic cards and everything. It just wipes.
My PC's always on. So if you guys want that, then you can put it on here. I'll go make a cup of coffee. Camera won't be on, mic won't be on. It'll just be you two. If you need to.
Oh, well, that's just it. You need someone that's going to bounce back and forth between us.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, I won't have anything on it. It'll just be you two on there. And I'll just click between the two screens and stuff like that.
When we share a screen, it's all right to have the people back here. Because, input's good too. That's the whole point of this is you go, hey, Tanner, you could do this better. Or, hey, Tom, why don't you do this? This is what I would have done in Fusion. You know what I mean? Input's great. That's the whole point of this. This isn't a competition. Oh, who's going to do better? It's to share, see what everyone's opinions are and how it works. And Llama can use StreamYards and Tanner can OBS and use OBS as your output, and there you go.
Okay. I've got OBS on here, but I don't
if
think
you did it on his stream, yes, on his channel. If I'm hosting it, no. Unfortunately, do you run OBS, Tanner?
Hold on.
Yeah, I've got OBS.
Because the thing would be if you can just, I don't know. Already money riding on who wins.
Hold on,
yeah,
man.
Tanner's going to win. Is that what you're saying, Mike? Fuck you.
Let me see something here. Hopefully it doesn't
more toy vehicle oriented. So
if it crashes me, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm about done anyways. I'm going to kill it. So if it crashes you, I'll probably just kill it. Can you replace your video with OBS and just your screen? Is the question.
That's what I'm looking.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. If we're both sharing, we can bounce back and forth with the shares. Because I can't replace my video with my screen, because the minute I do, it takes over the screen. It takes over the whole video. I can't just replace my little block of our thirds right now.
Well, you can set up the panels in OBS, so you can have it so that it's got the two of you, and then underneath that, it's got your screens underneath it. Yeah, I'm just saying that if Tanner did it, you could do it that way.
I'm working on an almost 10-year-old Mac Mini. It just ain't got the nut behind it to do it.
I just haven't used OBS in like 4 years.
Yeah.
So
every time I try it, I mean, it's nice. I've used it a few times. It's great. I can stream with it, but the minute I do anything else, if I bring up, any kind of modeling app or anything besides StreamYards and OBS, the whole thing just shuts down and says, fuck you. I'm too tired for that crap.
I'll have to test, but I think you can use OBS as your source to StreamYard.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
But for some reason, I'm not seeing it here. Maybe because I didn't have OBS open when I joined.
OBS, set up your camera, then you go into StreamYards and say, select your camera.
Yeah, it might now play with my stream.
We'll play with, I got to start doing stuff. It's already it's after 11. I got to get crap done. So let's plan on, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, let's plan on doing it tomorrow. We'll play with figuring it out. Tomorrow.
Right, we can play with settings and stuff tomorrow and see about.
Just plan, and tomorrow will be on my live channel, not this one. See a little scrolly thing down here scrolling? It's going to be on my live channel. So please make sure you're subscribed to my live channel, because we'll be on the live channel, not on 3D Printing Llama channel. It'll be on ThomllamaLive channel. Did you all get that it's ThomllamaLive channel tomorrow, not 3D Printing Llama channel tomorrow? Because we'll be on ThomllamaLive channel.
Tweet about it. Just tweet about it before you start streaming tomorrow.
ThomllamaLive.
Well, the other thing is I think tomorrow what we should do is I'll stream for an hour and then you stream for an hour, and we'll test it with both of our systems. Make sure everything's going to work on both ends. Yeah. Does somebody have the frickin' link?
Yeah, link's in the chat.
Did you just link it?
Give me a second and I'll link it down.
Did I link it anywhere? I don't want to have to go back and find it all and relink it.
All right, I'll get it.
I'm too old and tired for that shit. Oh, here it is. Copy. I think this is it, right? Is that the right one?
There you go. I've already done it.
Yeah. They showed up at the same time on my screen. Anyway.
Your one doesn't work.
All right. So let's plan on doing that tomorrow, Tanner, if you're cool with that. Andrew, too. I'd like to have you here, too, if you're willing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's all plan on, I don't know, I'll start a little late because you guys, well, Tanner's got to get his ass out of bed. Look at him. He's got that look like, fuck you, I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah, I didn't get home until after midnight last night.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed until midnight. I was still up at 5. I just get up at 5. Yeah. I don't know why.
I got
what
home
time
at midnight.
Do you normally get up in the morning?
Usually when my wife is getting ready for work, it wakes me up, and that's like 6:30 or so.
Oh, so you're up when I start.
I'm up. I'm just not in the mood to do anything yet.
Yeah, well, me either.
I'm still grumpy and tired. I guess.
I usually try and start around 8:30 here, so that's like 7:30 your time.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, so 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Okay, I need to set up OBS virtual cam.
Yeah, that's what it is. I knew there was a way.
All right,
Anyway.
so I will Google that and see what I got to do.
Seizures, people. Seizures. Everyone has seizures. We got to figure out something to do for Jimmy.
Yep.
Got to do everything in caps locks for Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, it didn't work. I didn't turn my caps lock on, you dumbass. There you go. Had to be in caps locks because it's Jimmy. All right. I'm killing it. See you guys.
Catch you later.